guys, and welcome to another episode of the Achievers Pod, where we bring to you real tips and insight from experts on this platform. And today I am so excited because the thing is, every time I get the opportunity to bring an expert, especially women on this platform, is such a blessing to me. But let me start. My name is Victoria Showumi, aka First Lady V. I am your host, and today in the house, I have an amazing woman. I know I've talked about her briefly on the past episodes, but she is so here today, to be able to expand on some of the things we've talked about in previous episode. We've talked about inheritance, wealth through inheritance, wealth through investment, and wealth through business opportunities. And today we are going deeper into investment part because that is a zone of genius. So allow me, her name is Dr. Nkem Ezeamama. She's here, but let me read a little bit about her and then I'm going to bring her right in. So she is an emergency medicine physician at the TriStar Skyline Medical Center in Nashville, Tennessee. She is a member of the Center's Clinical Competency Committee. And until recently, she has served on the Medical Executive Committee. She is also a member of the core faculty of the Medical Center's Emergency Medicine Residency Program. And so let me bring her in so I can continue to read of her profile. You can see who I'm actually talking about. Oh my goodness. Welcome, Dr. Nkem. Welcome. So she's here. She
Thank you
is
so much.
also, yeah, she is an investor. And this is why she's here, guys. So grab your notes, grab everything you need, and pay attention to this session because this is going to be a blessing to your life. She's
Mm.
an investor and also the founder and the CEO of Pheenyx Capital Investment. This is a multi-family real estate investment company. She started her investing journey as a passive investor and very quickly became an active investor. You're going to be one of those people today with the acquisition of large apartment complexes, all right, all over United States. Our new endeavor is acquiring, managing, and optimizing existing businesses. She is a motivational speaker, business coach. She's a mentor and creator of the expansive life blueprint. So she got a medical degree from the George Washington University of Medicine and completed her emergency medicine training at the Carolinas Medical Center, now Atrium Health. So join me to welcome this awesome, phenomenal woman, Dr. Nkem Ezeamama.
Oh, that was so good. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Like, I'm pumped. I can't wait for us to
Yes,
get
yes.
into all
Even
the fun
myself, I'm
stuff.
pumped. Yes, I'm pumped. I'm pumped. I've shared a few things, with the audience the past few weeks because I've been looking forward to this time. And I know what you are doing is impacting a lot of people. And so I want to throw the ball at you right now for you to start. I share a little bit about yourself as a as a medical doctor and also, the CEO and founder of the Pheenyx Capital Investment, but just share a little bit more so that people can have idea. By the time we go deeper into investment today, they can understand where that is coming from.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm really excited to be here. I know that we met at a conference and we just hit it off. And so thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my story and to tell you, how I went from one thing to the other, and how you can do whatever you want. And that's one thing that I want to, if at the end of the day you hear me, you hear something from me, it's that like your dreams are not, they're not small. You can dream big and you can imagine and you could do whatever you want, but you just have to start. And that's a little bit about my story. So just as First Lady V, which I love that name, um, just like, how she said, I started off my career in emergency medicine and I was deeply committed to, the high pressure life or death situation
Hmm.
every time. And that's what I get in the ER till today. But I realized something, right? That while I was saving lives, which was amazing, right? I was sacrificing some of my own freedom, my own time, my own energy. And I kept doing that over and over and over again, right? But what I started to learn and understand was that that was like chipping away at who I am. And situations we'll kind of go into deeper my story, but just realizing that I could not rely on my 9 to 5, like
Hmm.
that was something that was that could easily be taken away from every single one of us, right? It opened my eyes where I needed to start thinking about how to diversify, right? And that I didn't have to rely on that one income. And that's how it started. I started just investing. I started thinking about how to diversify wealth, and I wanted real estate to be part of that portfolio. And so I started just putting money into apartment complexes, and I saw the growth. I saw the money that I was putting into these apartment complexes were generating so much more returns for me than what was sitting in my bank account. Definitely what was sitting under the bed, right? So I knew that it was time for me to shift and to pivot. But where the story turned for me is that I started teaching other people who look like me, that there needed to be space for us at the table. If everyone else is doing this and is growing wealth for generations to come, we have to be part of that. And I think that's how Pheenyx was born. If I had to be 100% honest with you, right? It was from that desire that I could build generational wealth for myself or for the people I love, for my community, and then that turn that into impact. So that's how I am sitting here today talking to you, and I'm just filled with joy. I'm really grateful for the journey, the ups and downs, and I'm hoping that I get to share that with you today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. I know we met at the conference, and let me tell you, you are such a phenomenal woman, okay? Phenomenal medical uh, doctor and also great investor. And now, yeah, we connected right away. And I think one of the things that stood out for me when you said you guys, acquired this close this portfolio, you're probably gonna say better than I do. But for 49, guys, okay, listen, pause now. Come here if you wherever you are, come here and listen. $49.1 million. That the light bulb just kind of went off in me, like, what? Can you say that again? So and we are gonna talk about that because even myself, I'm like 9 to 5 cannot cut it for you.
Yep.
Right now, I'm in a space of, I would say, transition because I'm sending somebody off to college. And I'm like, if this young man is going to go to college without student loans and all of that, it's not going to be from 9 to 5. That can even sustain me myself, right? So we need something like that. So thank you for being here today. I am super grateful. So let us go deeper in. I know you mentioned a little bit how you started, and you created the Pheenyx capital investment. You were into that. So is there something that really kind of like, what, I think I can do this, and I think I can bring other people, because what you do is just not doing it by yourself, is also bringing other people, along with you to do it together. So how do you get to that point of like, we need more people to do this, because probably you've seen the benefits. So can you share about that?
Okay. So this is a two-part question, I think. And I think that in the beginning, right, the light bulb went off in my head. And I saw how it helped me to start reclaiming some of my time back, right? I think for me in the beginning, that was the most important. It was building financial freedom and it was reclaiming my time. But it evolved to realizing that like this wasn't just for me, right? This calling that had been placed on my heart it wasn't just supposed to be something for me. It turned out that I was going to start helping other high achieving professionals, especially healthcare professionals, people in the healthcare space, because that's what I know, who I know, what I love, who I love. And so I wanted to make sure that as I was winning, like they were winning with me. And I wanted to show people that you are allowed to live fully. You can live expansively. You don't have to burn out, right? You can do what
Yes.
you love and still be growing wealth. I think that was the beginning light bulb for me.
Mm.
But then I also think that like along the way, right, there were challenges that I had to overcome that, you're seeing me here today, sitting here, but there are things that I had to overcome to be able to get here today. And I think that for somebody who's listening, and we'll talk about investing, right? And we'll talk about partnership and how we can do this alone, because
Mhm.
I couldn't do this by myself. But the first thing I had to do, I think, was to overcome fear, right?
Mm.
Fear of failure, fear of judgment from other people, fear of stepping outside. For all intensive purposes, like I'm successful just as a just as a physician, and so the idea of like wanting to do something different, right? Wanting to pivot, wanting to
Mm.
step out of the box, so to say, that came with a lot of judgment from the outside and fear
Mm.
from inside. But the one thing I know is that the journey of 1,000 miles, right? It starts with one step. And then you take that step every single day and
Mm.
you're consistent. So it's not, you don't see me here today and saying like I just like blinked and got here, right? It was daily, consistent, small, tiny steps that I took every day. And that's what helped me get here today. That saying that like courage is not the absence of fear,
Yes.
it's feeling the fear and doing it anyways. And so I think that for me to start and for me to grow, for me to be able to come here and talk to you about like, how can we partner together? How can we do this together? I had to overcome some of that fear. Like I had to do it like afraid, but I still did it, right? I still took that step. I still made that phone call. Like in the beginning when I was growing Pheenyx, right? I'll tell you, ladies, I'll tell you what I did. And
Thank
gentlemen, and
you.
gentlemen,
Spill the
I
beans.
I took my phone out and I said, the first people that will invest with me, the first people that will say yes are the people who already know me, they already like me, and they already trust me. And they were gonna come from my phone. And so I pulled out my phone and I made a list. And I made a Dream 100 list. And I said, these are the people that I'm going to call and I'm going to tell them my story. And they're going to see my journey. And when I say it's time to invest, like we are going to grow wealth together, these are the people that are going to say yes. And that's what I did. And not everybody said yes, not even half, not even a quarter said yes. But, but
Mm.
remember what I said. It was the small, daily, consistent steps every day. And
Mhm.
so I remember, my first deal that I brought to my investors, I think I got 10 people who said yes. And between those 10 people, we brought $750,000 to the table and we were able to acquire a small property. And that's how it started, right? It
Mm.
was like, okay, you can go out and buy one single family home by yourself, right? Or we can partner together, right? And we
Okay.
can buy 50 units, we can buy 100, we can buy 200.
Mm.
And then we all share in the wins, we all share in the spoil. So, and that's what we need to understand. That's what I understood, with apartment investing, it's not just you, right? We are coming together and we're pulling all this money together and we're telling the bank, we're saying, hey, I can bring this much. Give me
Mm.
some more. Let's go buy this. We will manage it professionally with a property manager. And then after we pay, all our expenses, what's left in the pot, we'll give the bank their own mortgage. And then the rest, we'll all split it amongst ourselves. And it's that simple. And then you, as a passive investor, right, you're not doing any of the work. You just put the money, you put capital in, and then you go and you do what you love. And the difference is now you're doing what you love, and you're like, okay, there's money that's coming for me next month, and there's money that's coming for me in 3 months, because you're like, okay, you are now understanding that this is how people grow wealth, right? It's
Mm.
diversification. So you put some money in this bucket, you put some money in this bucket, you put some money in this bucket, and then you split it so that as you again, you're doing what you love, right? You are called to be a doctor, you're called to be a nurse, you're called to be a dentist, you're called to be a pharmacist, you're called to be a lawyer, you're called to be a teacher, whatever it is, you get to do that, with love, but you still know that like your generations will be taken care of, your future will be taken care of. You're building wealth along the process as you're doing what you're doing. So I hope that was it, like kind of answered your question, but that's why I said it was two part, right?
Right,
It
yes.
was understanding the fear that I needed to overcome, and
Mm-hmm.
then realizing that this is not a journey that I was going to take by myself, and we needed to partner together.
Wow, I love that. I mean, that is the simple way to put it. And you mentioned few things, and I think one of the things you said is about growing wealth together, and also you talk about partnership. And as I've been studying, recently, I've seen the power of partnership that can really elevate you beyond what you can do as a person. Because, like you did mention, as person you can only probably buy one small unit, just very small of what you can afford. But when 5, 10, 15,
Yes.
20 people pool their resources together, you are able to buy a very big uh,
Yes.
uh, apartment complex. And I think that is amazing. It just kind of accelerate your
Yes.
path, to
Yep.
get in there very, very fast. So thank you for sharing that. And quickly, I want to kind of take a step back and
Okay.
just want you to just talk. When did you actually started Phoenix a capital investment? How old is he now? And then we are going to now go into investment, and then talk about actually your very big, I mean, of recent acquisition. I love that.
Okay, so Phoenix. So I started investing. Remember, I told you, and I started as a passive investor. So I
Mhm.
started just like you, as you're listening to this call now, thinking about it, or listening to this podcast, thinking, is this something I should do? That's how it started for me. I started listening because I knew that I wanted more, right? And so I started really investing a little, about maybe 5 years ago. That's when I started investing in real estate. But I built Phoenix. It took me about a year and a half to 2 years to really kind of start growing passive income, but learning about the business, right? Learning how to underwrite deals. For a year, I took an underwriting class every Tuesday night. So now you can bring me any deal. You can bring me an Excel sheet that looks like gibberish to some people, and I would just be like, okay, let's do this, let's make this assumption, let's reduce this. But it took time, right? Nothing good comes easy. You put in the work. Again, remember I said it and I meant it. It's daily consistency that helps you get to where you're going. It's very rare that you meet overnight successes, right? It looks
Mm.
that way because you're like, I didn't know about them. And then these people are like, like everybody's talking about them. But the truth is, they were grinding every
Mm.
single day. And then when they made it, that's when you started hearing about them. But their journey probably started 5, 10 years ago.
10
And I can
years
give
ago.
you multiple examples, right? And so that was kind of my story. I spent the 2 years and I really just buckled down. I went to conferences, I learned, I took classes, I took intensives. I really paid significantly to grow. And then when I felt ready, right, then I built Phoenix. And so Phoenix, we are about to be 3 years old. So in the last 3 years, we've been able to accomplish, I'm grateful, we've been able to accomplish um, a very significant amount. But we're not stopping there, right? We're continuing to grow. We're
Yes.
continuing to look for really quality deals that we can bring to our investors so that they can come on this journey with us. A lot of people don't know about investing, right? A lot of people
Mm-hmm.
don't know about all these alternative assets that you can use to grow wealth. So one of the big goals of Phoenix is to allow our investors, our community, to know that they have access, right? Because a lot of people, they have the resources, but they don't even know how. So one
Mm.
of the things are education and access to let you know that like there's space for us at the table. We can come together, and like if everyone else is winning, so can we. So that's kind of the story of like our evolution, growth, and where we're going.
Thank you. Thank you. And let me say, in the past 3, 4 years, I mean, since you've started, you guys have been growing, because you did mention about, the 750,000. And of recent, we had a 49.1 million. I mean, I don't even know how to say. I'm not a math person. I don't like math, but I mean, like I don't even know how to describe the percentage going from, guys. So if you are listening, yes, going from 750,000 and then up to 49.1 million. So I wanted to talk about how you do that and how that benefits your investors, because people that are listening now, they'll be like, okay, so what is in it for me? So talk about that.
Yes,
That and then the
absolutely.
benefit for the investors.
Okay, I could talk about that. So, our most recent acquisition that we closed, so what we bought, it was a $49.1 million deal, and it's right outside of Atlanta, 268 units. It was built 1989, and so we just acquired it. We're gonna hold it for a little under 5 years, and so our investors who have invested in the deal, they are starting to get returns. So what that looks like is that every year they will get about 6 to 7% on their investment. So they'll be getting that in distribution. So every quarter, you'll be getting some money back, and that's how you're, getting passive income. And then the plan, our business plan is we go in and we do renovations. Remember, I told you it was a 1989 property. So
Hmm.
we will go in and we'll do renovations, right? We'll take a classic unit that
Hmm.
was like 1989 and we will bring it up to 2025 standard. So that means like we will go in, we'll do granite countertops, we'll fix all the bathroom, we might take out carpet and change it to flooring, but we will make sure that our tenants are happy, right? It's what, like those nicer apartments that they see, those brand new apartments, they actually can get that.
Yeah.
But what happens is that then we take it from classic to 2025, but we'll
Hmm.
also increase rent. So rent will go from, whatever it was, let's say it was 1,000, and it will go up to maybe like 1,300 or 1,350. We'll
Yeah.
never go above like market value because we want
Mm-hmm.
our tenants to stay, right? And so, but that difference, right, between let's say 1,000 and 1,350, I'm just using random numbers, but
Mm-hmm.
that difference, right? Imagine that difference over, like, let's say we plan to do 100 renovations. So think about that, $350 over
Hmm.
100 renovations on a
Wow.
monthly basis. That is how you start, you start appreciating the property. You're going to force that appreciation
Hmm.
from the renovations that we're doing. But what the beauty of it is that then when we sell, our investors are going to make a significant amount in profit share from that appreciation that we did in our business plan. So that's just an example of like how you're making money. So at the end of the day, right, you will be making about 16% every year on the money that you invested.
That's
So if you think about what like the S&P 500 is giving you, think about that and think about kind of what your returns are getting. Think
hmm.
about what your money in a savings account is doing today.
It's like point
So
zero.
exactly, exactly. So then when you compare all of those, right, you understand. Now, I will say this because I want people to know, right? These deals are illiquid. So you're like, well, what does that mean? If you are investing with us, you are committing you're committing that that money is going to stay in that property until we sell. So that looks like anywhere from 3 to 5 years. So you can't call me tomorrow and say, I changed my mind. So that's the thing, right? You are committing, it's long term.
Oh,
That's the one thing that I think that it's maybe a downside, because if you bought, let's say you bought stocks, right? Tomorrow you can sell it and just take your money
and
and do
just
whatever
take your
you
money
want.
now.
If
Okay.
your money was in a savings account, you could just pull it the same day. But when you're investing in some of these real estate opportunities, you know that that money is tied down and it's locked down. And so even before you invest, right, you and I will have a conversation,
Hmm.
because I want to know your goals. I want to know
Mm-hmm.
how this aligns with your big
Oh.
picture, what you want to do with your life, where you're going to be in 5, 10 years. What does financial freedom look like to you? Because not every person will be an investor with Pheenyx, and that is okay. If I have a conversation with you and I just feel like, okay, maybe you don't have enough money, you don't have disposable income right now
Hmm.
in your journey, then maybe it's okay to save that money for your emergency fund, because that's more important. So those are conversations that we will have. And we pride ourselves in being transparent and really understanding what our investors want. So if for some reason it just doesn't align with your goals, then I will be very clear with you and I'll be like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
maybe give yourself a year or two, or these are other things that maybe you can think about investing in. But those are the conversations that we have in the beginning,
Mm.
even before you're like, yes, I'm ready. I want you to invest with us. But I want to make sure that like you understand what your goals are,
Mhm.
make sure that they align, because in the big picture, I think that is way more important.
Wow. I mean, thank you for sharing that. I mean, so for everyone listening, so as simple as it can get. And that is so important too, because and also sometimes people put money in savings, that the money is just there, just put money in the saving is just there for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and then your interest rate is 0.01%. I mean, like it's not growing at all. But like you said, this is not like a short term, it's somewhere you are investing into real estate, investing into Pheenyx capital investment. You're thinking long run, and I think it's such a way of kind of putting money away, because you did mention that when the investor put the money in, they don't really have to do anything. They just continue on with their lives. If you're working in healthcare, you are lawyer, whatever you do, you just continue your life doing your things. But meanwhile, you already put money aside, and that money is working for you. And 3, 5 years, by the time they, whatever the plan is, be build and sell the unit when the time comes, and you're taking money back. And she did mention, even before they get to that point, once everything is renovated, they have a tenant in there, maybe every quarter, every year, you are getting something back. I love money like that. And that is what they talk about, passive income. Like you are not waking up 6 a.m., you are not looking at the stock, and then your heart is going up and down, your heart rate. You're like, oh, should I eat this money because you hear that went down yesterday? All those things, right? You just put your money in there and just go about your daily life. And at the end of the year, whichever way it is, maybe at the end of the quarter, you just get that deposit into your account. Just say, oh, I think I love that.
You know this so well. You're doing so good. Like you're doing my job so well. I love it.
Thank you. I
Exactly
mean,
what
that
you
is the
just
reality,
said.
is it? Because the thing I know sometimes, even before, and I thank God for all the knowledge I've got in myself today. In the time past, I'm like holding on to that money, like you holding on to it, but then the money is not growing. And the money is not even growing. You are tempted to actually spend that money. You actually like, okay. And then at the end, it's like you come into this huge amount, and then nothing is there. Like I always tell people that play lottery, I don't play, but I say, people that play lottery and they win big money, after a few years, they back down to square one, like as if
Yes.
they never
Never.
came into any money because nothing was invested.
Yes.
All right, so guys, I hope you get that. So now let's talk, what is the process of getting started with you? How long does it take? What is the minimum capital investment, if there is? I know you did mention about 3 to 5 years. So guys, 3 to 5 years, but she did said she's gonna sit down with you and kind of look at your situation, because every one of us, whatever is going on in our lives, is so different. So
Yes.
now, what is the requirement? Is there a minimum deposit needed? What are the things for anyone listening right now that really want to invest with Pheenyx?
Okay. Oh man. First Lady B asking good questions. Okay, so so we have right now, I talked to you about that deal. We have a few more spots in it, but we also just launched another one. Now, I will tell you, right, there are classes of investors that are able to invest in some of these opportunities. So first of all, I'll tell you that, and I'll walk you through the whole process, because I think it's important that you understand this, and you, in any deal you do, you need to understand exactly what you're doing, exactly how much you're investing, the
Yeah.
plan, the structure, what's going to happen, and the exit plan in
Mm,
anything you do. And if that information is not accessible to you, you should probably turn around and run.
mm,
And so what it looks like for us, right, in order to invest in Every deal is different, but the current deals that we have right now, in order to invest in them, you have to be an accredited investor. And that means that you have to, and that is really to protect you as an investor, to make sure that you understand, the value of your capital, and you understand that when you invest in these properties, right, you are taking a risk, and you fully understand that, because that's important. So I said you have to be an accredited investor. That
Yes,
means
ma'am. What does that mean? You have
yes,
to go
okay,
to
good.
class
Yes.
and
That means that in the coming future, you're going to be able to take a class and qualify. But right now, you qualify for it based on your income. So you have to make $200,000 in this fiscal year, or you and your spouse together have to make $300,000. So
okay.
that's the first
That
qualification.
is a financial.
Yes, that
Yes,
is a financial qualification, and that is something that is above me. That is something that is one of our SEC requirements that says you have to. That is what makes you an accredited investor. The other
investment.
way that
Okay,
you
let
can
me not
do,
say. So if you are individual as an individual, you said
yes,
200,000. Then
200,
as a
and then it's
couple,
a
is 300,000
300.
in the
Yes,
fiscal.
but there's another way. So you
Okay, thank you.
also have a net worth. So now, if you are, if you have stocks, if you have 401k, if you have, you also have, if your net worth is greater than $1 million. And that's also like if you have property, if you have land, all of that, whatever adds to your net worth, right? So if your net worth is greater than $1 million, then you also qualify. So even if you maybe don't make the amount, but let's say you've invested in real estate, you've bought land, you have done, you've had all this other money, maybe you have some money in the stock market, all of that adds to 1 million, but it excludes your primary residence. So where you live
Okay.
doesn't add in that money. But so those are some of the criteria that would make you, the qualifications that would make you an accredited investor. So if you pass that, now I'll say this, right? There are some investment opportunities that we do, that we bring in non-accredited investors. So
Yes,
we're allowed
that would be
to
my
bring
next
in.
question.
Yes. So, but in order for us to be able to tell you about that deal, you and I have to have had a prior
Yes.
relationship. So it's not, so I can't come on this podcast and share that deal with you because I don't know who's listening,
No,
and
you
me
okay.
and that person may not have had a prior relationship. But as long as we have a conversation and we built a prior relationship, then we have some deals that as a non-accredited investor, I can invite you to participate in that deal. So that is also, and that's another reason why every single person that invests with us, we have built a relationship, we have talked, we know your goals, we know your alignment, so that it can also, so that it checks those boxes, right? So now we've talked about that criteria.
Yes,
Now, the
yes.
minimum investment is $50,000. And so that is the criteria. So if you want to invest with Pheenyx, our minimum investment is 50,000. We have webinars. We put out webinars, kind of, we talk about the deal. So this is how the process works. We find the deal, we look for the deal, we find the deal, we underwrite the deal, we make an offer to the seller. We say, hey, we want to buy this deal, right? After we do that and we get our offer gets accepted, we get excited, we go to do due diligence. We go to the property, and we go probably with a huge team, property management, the HVAC guys, the roofing, the plumbing. We check everything. We walk into every single apartment, and we make sure that we make sure that everything that they told us on paper, it matches. So we make sure there's no major plumbing issue, there's no major roofing issues. We make sure that like there's no major capital expenditure that we didn't know about, right? So we look at everything. We talk with our property manager. After we do all of that, then we sign the official documents. Then I can start telling you about the deal. And then I bring it out to our community and I say, we're excited. This is our next opportunity. And then after that, we have a secure portal. In this portal, it has all the information. It has the official legal documents that our lawyers sign. It has all the information that we've gathered from, going to the property. We create a beautiful investment deck or PowerPoint presentation for you. Then you take that and you decide, you study it, you review it, you meet with me, one of our team members, and we just kind of say, you understand this is our plan, this is how much you'll make over the years, this is how much in distribution you'll be getting every year, this is our renovation plan, this is, you'll see everything.
Everything.
And then, you make a decision. You go to the portal, you put in your information, and then you'll decide, and then you'll wire the money. We try to close in 60 days. So from when the deal comes to market, when we sign that purchase and sale agreement, we try to close in 60 days. And then after we close, we take over, we manage the property. You will start getting monthly updates from me. And so from our team. So that will tell you occupancy, vacancy, how much money came in this month, how much money is in the bank account, like did any tenants leave? Did we do any renovations? This is how much money is coming back to the investors. You get all of that in a monthly update every single month. We run the financials because you're part owner of this. Like this is your property. So you need to know everything that's going on in it with it. So that's how it starts. After we close, within 1 quarter, after we kind of go through all the operational things that we need to do, we get settled, then you will start getting distributions. So you start getting, remember I told you, the mailbox money coming in the mail. Now, of course, it's through ACH and it comes straight to your bank account, but then you'll start getting returns every quarter. That's what that looks like. So you like, and then you have access to if we have any upcoming deals, if we have any webinars, any trainings, any teachings on investing, on wealth generation, on even like how you can use your IRA to invest. You can use an old 401k to invest. You don't only have to use cash. But again, a lot of people don't know this, right? So we are doing our job to continue to educate our investors so that they understand. And then they also start looking for other opportunities because once your mind is open to this idea, then you see it everywhere. And then you start doing research and you start doing due diligence and you understand, well, I can do this as well. Maybe I put a little bit here and grow that as well. So that was long, but that's what the process looks like from start to finish. But this is something that you should absolutely know and understand. And any, operator, any sponsor, which would be like Pheenyx Capital, they should be able to explain this to you. They should be able to show this to you. And also, I'll say this, if you're new, you should also ask, the owners, hey, can I talk to one of your other prior investors? Can I talk to them? Can I learn from their experience? Can I see how, the other properties have been going? That's within your right to ask because you're investing a significant amount of money and you want to make sure that you can trust the people that you're doing it with.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. I think it's really so comprehensive, the way you explain it, kind of like going from being an accredited investor and to how the process unfolds. So thank you. Thank you for saying that. And I think I love how you guys kind of operate because one of the things we're saying, though you may not use that word, is about transparency, that people are able to know what is going on at a particular time. You are part of the portal. You are not, kept outside of what is going on. You have access to the portal. You're seeing the progress of things, which unit is out, which one is occupied. If there is any vacancy, you can ask questions. You can talk to other people. I think that is very, very key to how you guys practice. I love that. Probably maybe other places may not have that opportunity, to know what is going on until you just get something in the mail. But here, being, like you said, as an active investor, knowing that this is your property as well, so you are in the know of what is going on with that unit, and also you have access to other people that are doing, the same thing, and you can ask questions or kind of hear their thought. And I think one other thing that you did mention when we were talking about what is required to come in, we're talking about accredited and then the investment part, but you did mention about relationship, that if someone is not at that level where they can get maybe they don't have the 200,000, they don't have the $300,000, but because they have a close relationship, then they can have some exclusivity, I would say, and that is very key in life, guys, that you are in a place, you are in a position where you have people around you, where you have quality people around you, where you develop certain partnership to the point that if at all, like you said, you don't have that 50,000, or don't have that 200,000, you are not meeting that requirement, but because of the personal relationship that you guys have built over time, they get to know you, like you, trust you, know you as a person, then they can waive some things for you. And I think that is a big deal. So if you have no friends right now, begin to develop your begin to make sure you go to conferences. I mean, people like, because you never can tell. And I always say to people, there are some information that you will not necessarily get out there free like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So they're just like exclusive. They're behind the door kind of information that until you are connected with certain people, until you have certain relationship before you can have access to certain information. And being a person of faith, we always say, and actually it's in the Bible, that my people perish for lack of knowledge. So if
Yeah.
you are not in the room, you will not have access to the
Yeah.
information. People will just tell you what you can hear outside, but there are some key information that you can only have access to when you are part of a close, tight, knit family group like that, and they can share information with you. And she did mention that you can see what other opportunities are out there that you may be part of. All right, thank you. This has been our extensive session, guys. So this is good. How do people, all right, so how do we, are you opening to bringing in new people right now? Is there a wait list? Can they still join this one? I know you did mention about another one coming up. What is available to people right now, and how can we, I know we have your information, but how can we best for them have access to you and your team at the Phoenix Capital Investment?
Okay, all great questions. The answer is yes to all of it. Uh,
You should be excited, guy. You should be excited. Yes to that.
The answer is yes to everything. So we do have space, and the deal that we just put to market. There's tons of space available. It is first come. All of this is first come, first serve. So we only have a certain amount that we raise for. We don't raise a single dollar above that because we don't want to water down
Yeah.
your
The
returns.
value. Mm-hmm.
So if you wait till the last minute, there's a chance I'm going to tell you, I'm so sorry. Wait till the next one. I don't know when the next one will be, but wait till the next one. So we have space. You just have to reach out to me. You can find me anywhere on social media. LinkedIn is my preferable way to find me. But and I think a lot of people, if you just put in my name, you will definitely find me. But you can also reach out to us. Our website is www.phcinvest.com, all one word. And then my email is nkem, Nkem, at phcinvest.com. So we just keep everything simple. So you can always, like I said, if you find me on any social media platform, if you send me a DM, I'll be able to get a hold of you. But also if you go on our website or send me a personal email, I'll get back to you. Then we're pretty quick. So within 24 hours, someone from our team will reach out to you. And yes, we will have, I don't know when this will be air, so I won't say another webinar, but we always have webinars that are going on. So as long as one of those ways get plugged into our community, you will be made aware of every deal, every webinar that we're doing, what's available, what's open. So just feel free to reach out to me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. So, guys, all the things she said, how to get in contact with them, we're going to put it in the description there. But before I let her go, let me tell you, this woman, she's a business coach and mentor. She is a speaker, like a phenomenal one. She's doing great on LinkedIn. Each time I go on LinkedIn, I pop into her over there. You want to deal with someone who has a track record. You want to deal with somebody who is out there. It's not somebody you cannot find, right? Be wary of that. But she is everywhere. She's still practicing, okay, as a physician, and she is a great person. Like, if you are in that space, you're just gonna be laughing at me, and she's gonna be sharing some key nugget to you for you, and you're like, really? Like, no gatekeeping any
Yes.
information. So really, I like her. She's amazing. So before we wrap up, I just want you, maybe whichever way you want to say it, because you talk about diversification when
Yes.
we started, and I want you to close that up. How is it so important that when people are diversifying their investment, that real estate, what you do is crucial to being part of that portfolio?
It's very important. I'll tell you this. A long time ago, Andrew Carnegie said this something very important. He said, most millionaires in the US, they made their money through real estate. And that is 100% accurate because housing is a basic human need.
Hmm.
Everybody needs a place to stay. So
It's
why
true.
don't you become part of the ownership group of real estate? Why don't you put your money into something that you know is not going away, that it will not tarnish over time, that will
Hmm.
always be around? If you've looked in the past, 30, 100 years, you will always see that the wealthy have stake in real estate. So why can't we be one of them?
Hmm.
That's what I want to leave you with today for you to think about.
Wow. I mean, that is, we all have human needs, and that is one of our needs. Have a shelter, have a place to live. It doesn't matter, but you will always need to be in a place. So it can't be said any better than you have said it, And so if you are sitting on the edge, you guys, you've had the information, you've had from the horse's mouth, like they will say, and we are going to put all the information there to connect with her, to be able to have access to their webinar and any other question that you might have. If you don't meet any criteria, what she talked about, just still reach out, because if at all you can go in right now, you might be in a better position for the next opportunity. But
Yes.
it's good to stay closer to the fire, like they said. When you are closer to the source, you are getting information,
Yes.
yes, so at a fast pace. So thank you, thank you. Is there anything else you want to say as we close out? Because this has been filled with nuggets of what we need to do right now. Is there anything else you want to
I
add?
want to say thank you. I want to say thank you so much for having me on this platform. I really appreciate it. And I want to leave, if there's someone who's listening,
Hmm.
life, investment, growth, I just want to say this because I hoped and I wish someone would have told me this before I started, right? You don't have to have this whole thing figured out. You can start and it can be messy, but just take the leap, right? Even if you're scared, just do it because the life that you want is on the other side of that decision that you are just like that is on the brink that you're about to make. Even if you're doing it uncomfortable, even if you're doing it scared, even if you're doing it messy, I would just say just take the leap. So thank you again so much for having me here. I really appreciate it and I really enjoyed this conversation. And if you just want to reach out to me because you're trying to figure out what to do with your life, that's one life that you have, please feel free to reach out to me. I would love to kind of walk with you on this journey and then we can figure out investing later.
Later, yeah. So thank you so much, guys. This has been an amazing session, an amazing time with Dr. Nkem Ezeamama. I mean, she opened up everything to let you know, and like she was closing out, if at all maybe this is not the right timing for you, but let me tell you, she's a person you want to have in your circle. She's a person you want to be close with because she has extensive information, resources, and even building you up until you get to that point that you can invest 50K, 100K, 150K in a portfolio. But all the things she has shared, everything, please take the time to digest it. She's open to answer questions. Go on LinkedIn right now, put that information right there and send a message that from Achievers Pod, connecting with that from here. Let me tell you, she will treat you the best. She will treat you the best. But guys, we want to say thank you again for joining us today. It has been an amazing session. So you want to act on what you've listened to today. Like she said, a journey of 1,000 miles begin with just a step. Whatever it is that you can do today, please take that action. Your success at the end of the action you're taking today. All right. So if you guys have not subscribed to this, please make sure you do subscribe, hit that bell, and so that each time we're on, you can get the notification. And also share with somebody that this can be a blessing to share with somebody. Leave a comment. What is it? If you have any questions, put it in there. And if there's any other thing you want to hear of, let us know. But thank you for being here again. My name is Victoria Showme, aka First Lady V. Till I see you next time, continue to achieve success. I love you guys and have an amazing one. Bye bye now.